Welcome, honorable viewers, to a dark tale of trust, deep loyalty, and the ultimate betrayal. In 1600, one loud gunshot echoing through the thick fog changed Japan's destiny forever. 100,000 loyal warriors stood ready to fall, but one coward's choice shattered their spirit. How could one frightened young general, paralyzed by fear, bring down an entire army from within? Prepare to uncover the dark truth of Sekigahara, where loyalty was bought with dark gold. The year is 1600. The great unifier, Toyotomi, is gone, leaving a fractured realm. Two massive factions rise from the ashes of his glorious reign, hungry for absolute dominance. In the east, the cunning warlord Tokugawa Ieyasu plots to seize the empty throne. He is a patient spider, weaving a web of deception to trap all his political rivals. Opposing him in the west stands Ishida Mitsunari, a fiercely loyal leader. Mitsunari has sworn a sacred, solemn oath to protect the young heir of his fallen master. Nearly 200,000 warriors march toward the quiet valley of Sekigahara. Heavy autumn rain turns the battleground into a miserable ocean of thick, black mud. The dense atmosphere is truly suffocating. Men sharpen their cold blades in the freezing, damp darkness. According to ancient records, the Western Army claims the vital high ground on the wet hills. Tokugawa is trapped below in the foggy basin, surrounded by an ocean of enemies. Yet, the ancient warlord sits calmly in his dark tent, staring intently at his wooden map. He knows that physical terrain means absolutely nothing if you can control human nature. High above the misty valley, on Mount Matsuo, waits the young general Kobayakawa. He commands 15,000 fresh troops, a massive force that can easily decide the victor. Officially, this massive army fights for the West, allied with the righteous Mitsunari. But secret letters and whispered promises of vast lands have already poisoned his weak mind. Tokugawa has bought the young man's loyalty with gold and the dark promise of untold power. As dawn breaks, a blinding white fog rolls across the dark, muddy fields, hiding the marching armies. The silent tension is abruptly shattered by the deafening roar of loud war horns echoing. Thousands of screaming samurai clash violently in the thick fog, shedding lives in the cold rain. The muddy ground quickly turns deep crimson as sharp steel pierces through the heavy shields and armor. Mitsunari's forces fight fiercely, like cornered demons, pushing the Eastern Army further backward. The Western troops use their higher elevation to unleash a devastating storm of arrows. The fallen men on Tokugawa's side mount rapidly as his front lines begin to crumble and fall. The brilliant Eastern warlord is losing the greatest gamble of his entire ambitious life. Victory seems certain for the loyalists as they crush their enemies deep into the dark mud. But history is rarely decided by pure courage or the sharpest swords on the battlefield. It is often dictated by the darkest shadows hiding within the fragile human heart. The morning sun finally burns to the thick fog, revealing a landscape of utter devastation. Thousands of fallen warriors litter the Crimson Valley in a tragic, final, grim embrace. Tokugawa sits on his wooden camp stool, gripping his war fan with white and trembling knuckles. He completely ignores the desperate cries of his fading men and the loud sounds of clashing steel. His cold, calculating eyes are intensely fixed upward, staring at the silent peak of Mount Matsuo. Why hasn't the young traitor moved his massive army to strike the final mighty blow from the high hill? Up on that ridge, Kobayakawa watches the brutal conflict below, with wide, terrified eyes. He is frozen by a crushing wave of cowardice and extreme political indecision. If he betrays his allies now and Tokugawa loses, he will face a devastating judgment. But if he remains loyal to the West and they fall, his entire clan will be erased forever. The young general paces nervously, sweating heavily inside his ornate golden armor. Below, Mitsunari signals his commanders to launch a final, devastating cavalry charge. He looks up toward the mountain, expecting his allied reinforcements to descend and help. Both supreme commanders are now staring at the exact same quiet hill, waiting for a miracle. The fate of an entire nation rests heavily on the shaking shoulders of one frightened boy. If you were standing in his shoes, would you honor your sacred oath or betray it to survive? The sun climbs higher into the crimson sky, yet the 15,000 men remain perfectly still. Tokugawa's legendary patience finally shatters into a fit of endless blind rage. He realizes that fear is the only universal language this cowardly traitor understands. The old warlord leaps from his seat, his face twisted into a terrifying mask of pure fury. He violently swings his war fan forward, screaming a desperate command through the pouring rain. According to historical accounts, he angrily ordered a squad of men armed with matchlock rifles. These ruthless mercenaries, faces covered in mud and ash, quickly rush to the mighty front lines now. They do not aim their heavy black weapons at the charging enemy warriors approaching them. Instead, they tilt their smoking barrels high up toward the silent peak of Mount Matsuo above. Tokugawa has decided to force the traitor's hand by threatening him directly from below. It is a brilliant psychological strike, designed to break a weak mind with sudden sheer terror. The gunners light their slow matches, the burning cords hissing loudly in the damp and freezing cold air. With a unified shout, they pull the triggers, unleashing a deafening volley of hot iron lead. Thick white smoke violently erupts from the long barrels, blinding the soldiers standing nearby. The sharp crack of loud gunfire echoes across the shadowed valley, cutting through the sounds of fading men. Up on the mountain, the deadly projectiles whistle dreadfully close to Kobayakawa. Dirt and small rocks explode around his golden boots, showering his pristine armor with dark dust. The sudden, violent impact shatters his lingering hesitation into a million pieces. Pure, unadulterated panic washes over his pale face as he drops down to his trembling knees. He knows instantly that Tokugawa's warning is crystal clear and utterly unforgiving. "Choose your side right now, or I will vanquish you along with them," the flying bullets seem to loudly scream. Driven by sheer survival instinct, the terrified boy scrambles up from the muddy, wet ground. He desperately draws his shining sword, pointing its trembling blade straight down toward the valley floor. With a voice cracking from intense fear, he screams the ultimate order of historical betrayal. "Attack the Western Army!" he bellows, sealing the tragic fate of his former loyal comrades. His commanders, though briefly shocked, obey the frantic command and blow their signaling war horns. 15,000 fresh warriors pour down the steep hillside like an unstoppable human avalanche. But they do not charge toward Tokugawa's exhausted and battered forces waiting in the mud. Instead, they violently slam directly into the exposed right flank of their own trusting allies. Imagine fighting for your life, only to feel your brother's cold blade pierce deeply through your tired back. The betrayal is absolute. The shockwave of treachery ripples through the Western ranks instantly. Brave men who had fought like lions all morning suddenly drop their weapons in total disbelief. Mitsunari, standing tall amidst the chaos, watches as his defensive lines evaporate. His perfectly orchestrated battle plan is torn to shreds by a single cowardly decision. The Loyalist army, caught between two massive, crushing forces, begins to rapidly collapse. Panic spreads faster than fire. Entire battalions break their strict formations and attempt to flee. The destruction that follows is truly merciless, painting the autumn grass a horrifying red. Tokugawa, still seated on his wooden stool, watches the tragic spectacle unfold with cold eyes. A chilling, satisfied smile slowly creeps across his weathered face, as victory is finally secured. He did not win this epic battle with superior military tactics or brave samurai. He won by masterfully exploiting the darkness, greed, and pathetic frailty of the human soul. The deafening cries of the fallen are drowned out by the triumphant roaring of the Eastern forces. As the crimson sun begins to set, Mitsunari falls to his knees in the thick, cold, black mud. His beautiful dream of a righteous and loyal Japan fades right there, on that tragic battlefield. He stares at his broken katana, realizing that honor alone cannot protect a kingdom. Meanwhile, the traitor Kobayakawa rides through the ruins, his golden armor stained with dark dust. He has survived the day, but history will forever remember his name with ultimate disgust. Tokugawa mounts his massive dark horse, riding slowly through the shattered remnants of his enemies. The era of endless chaotic wars is finally over, paid for by the epic betrayal. From this muddy landscape, the mighty Tokugawa shogunate will rise to rule for centuries. The heavy cost of this newly forged peace was paid in massive rivers of human sacrifice. Ishida Mitsunari was captured alive and silenced forever within the grand city. As for the young traitor Kobayakawa, his final reward was short and filled with dark madness. He faded just 2 years later, completely driven insane by overwhelming guilt and dark fear. Tokugawa Ieyasu claimed the title of shogun, uniting the fractured islands at last. His powerful dynasty isolated the nation, locking its borders tightly for 2 centuries. Yet the most terrifying weapon on that day was not the sharp steel of ancient traditional swords. It was the terrifying thunder of imported matchlock rifles firing blindly into the air. This sudden betrayal forever severed the lifeblood of the honorable samurai code. The bitter betrayal violently severed the ancient lifeblood of traditional samurai. Decades earlier, their glorious world of swords was already being torn completely apart. It was shattered by a deafening explosive sound never before heard on the battlefield. The arrival of foreign firearms had already begun to slowly poison their ancient ways. Ieyasu merely used this terrifying modern power to break a cowardly heart. The shadowed valley of Sekigahara is a haunting monument to dark treachery. It proves that history is written by the ruthless victors who dare to abandon all honor. The ghosts of those fallen loyal warriors still wander endlessly through the cold autumn fog. Was Ieyasu's manipulation a brilliant stroke of genius, or a tyrant's cowardly act? Do the ends justify the means in this ruthless game of power? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this dark historical journey, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for much more.